Welcome to Stories of Hope. This is a podcast by the Dream Center.
Where you will hear from people who have stories that once seemed hopeless.
People whose stories of redemption and life transformation are so powerful, they can only be possible by the power of Jesus. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Stories of Hope. Very excited to keep this season going. Episode 5, which feels wild that we're already at this point. Me and Chris have gotten to have some really awesome conversations up to this point with Melissa Vess, with, I'm trying to think of who all it is, Rebecca.
Tanya.
And so I'm just really excited to back to just us today. And today we're going to talk about our 5th core value, which is be set apart. I feel like me and you the last few months have had so many conversations specifically about this core value. Different people on our team, different situations, the way that we get to do ministry as a whole. And so I'd love for pitch it to you and kind of just get into really what this core value looked like when y'all picked it at the beginning.
It's my favorite one out of all of them is be set apart. And the reason that it's my favorite one is I feel like it is so easy, in this day and time to be able to say, oh, we're a Christian business, or we're a Christian family, or we're a Christian nonprofit. And then from the outside looking in, you really don't see anything that would distinguish that.
It's true.
Yeah. And, it's not about putting a fish symbol on your truck and then cutting everybody off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we just wanted to look at it and really, we just ask ourselves the question, if we are an organization following Jesus, what are we going to do differently so that we're set apart from everybody else? And sadly, you just individually, this day and time, you don't have to do too much to be set apart.
It's true.
So that's where it all started.
Right. I think one of the things that we do talk about a lot is the opportunity that we have to, and I think that's why, again, I've said this before, but the whole reason that we want to do this unique season of the podcast about our core values is because it's just allowed us to really see the benefit of small adjustments of mindset and sticking true to what Scripture says and what the words of God say about, this one's based on Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you can attest and approve what God's will is, which is also crazy when you read that of the fact that we get to test and approve what God is asking for us to do, like that. Anyway, sorry, that hit me as I was thinking, as I was saying it. But it's true. It just doesn't take that much. And I think that's what's so beautiful about our core values as a whole is just, it really is tiny little adjustments to the way that we think, the way that we look at work. It's helped shape my work ethic over the last 4 years of how I do my job, even in the spaces where I'm like, okay, I could, take the next 10, 15 minutes and just do whatever, or, lounge around, or I can walk down and be like, you need any help? Or Sarah, you need any help? Or, and so it really is very cool. And I feel very thankful that these things have helped shape my life.
And you can, as we did, if you have a business, or you even just personally want to have some core values set, the question we said was, okay, what can we do? And one of the answers was, well, we can exceed expectations. So again, this day you go different places and you get different services, and it's not as common that people are exceeding expectations. And so we are about trying to exceed people's expectations. And that's whether it's somebody coming for help, or somebody that's volunteering, or somebody that's donating, or somebody that's shopping, or somebody that's going to the coffee shop. We want to exceed their expectations because we're working for the Lord. And we should exceed expectations.
Yeah, right.
So that was a very important one to me. And I think everybody here understands that's important to the Dream Center. Down to even recently, we were talking about the new coffee house that we opened. We started putting fresh flowers on the table, which wasn't my idea. It was a volunteer supporter's idea. And it has been a nice detail that has become very important.
Right.
It's the small things matter.
Yeah.
And how do you do the small things? To exceed expectations adds up to big things. Right. So I think that's something that we always keep at the forefront of our mind.
Yeah. And I think, so when I transitioned into this role a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I don't even remember. Anyway, this was one of the core values that I really had to also start thinking through, as far as one of the subpoints is live and lead by example. And one of my first thoughts was, okay, nobody knows this, but this building is down here at the very end of the, like my office is at the very end of the building. And it became clear to me very quickly, like, if I'm not careful and if I'm not thinking about how I'm living and leading at all moments, I could so easily, like, not work half the day down here because
nobody's down here.
Nobody's down here. Also, like, we trust each other. Like, I know that I have your trust, all the things. And it became very clear of, like, conviction of, okay, you have a decision to make basically right now, even though I wasn't going to, of just being even more aware of you can pursue excellence in all things. I can live and lead by example if I want to, or I can do the complete opposite just because. And so it's just, I feel like I've said this every episode, but I just am, every conversation, I'm so thankful that these have been put into place, because it really just has helped partner with Scripture of how do I make sure that I'm being held accountable at all times in each moment.
When you talk about the live and lead by example, and the way I looked at that was, like, live your life in such a way that people would aspire to live a life similar to yours.
Right.
You know, don't be that person who says you follow Christ and people are like, oh my goodness, in no way.
Right.
You're not even you don't have a good work ethic, or, you know, you don't do the right thing when people aren't watching. You're not doing the right thing. Like, that is, to me, it's hurtful to the cause, you know, because we have a lot of people that come to the Dream Center that have a lot of hurt. They might be mad at God. They might not believe in God. You know, they're an atheist. They have church hurt. They feel judged. And so when they come in the door, they've already got this opinion, you know? So what if we are telling everybody that we're following Jesus as an organization, and they come in and they see that we're lazy and that we're not nice and that we're not doing our job?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, just like I thought.
Exactly.
Yeah, but instead we have the amazing opportunity to show them the difference in what it looks like to be set apart. And it's so impactful. I mean, they tell us, like, man, this place is representing a kind of faith that I have never seen.
Yeah, right.
And that's the goal.
Right.
That is the ultimate goal. And it's not easy.
Right, no.
You know, we're not perfect and we're going to mess up. But at least when you mess up, you've got somebody here knowing, hey, it's okay, but let's look back at the core value and let's exceed expectations and quit being lazy.
Right.
And so, and again, I always say this, but it makes it easier to make the expectations for your staff clear.
Yes.
So that if they're not trying to exceed expectations, well, you're not in the right place.
Right.
So don't even come to work here.
Yeah. Right.
Because we are not going to be lazy.
Right.
But we also are going to be set apart at home. I mean, you know, when we leave here, we're going to give it our all in all ways, that we are representing Christ in every way, the way we are a wife, or the way we are a parent, and the way we are a friend. And so, again, not getting it perfect, but just having that, it's like a little guide.
Yeah, right.
That, man, I got to get this right.
Right, 100%. You know? And it also just helps, like, this core value specifically has helped shape me as a worship leader outside of work, of getting to play drums and get to lead in a bunch of different spaces of live and lead by example, has helped me go back to the Lord's Prayer and that part of Scripture where Jesus is like, don't be like the Pharisees who got on the corner and shout these fancy prayers and say, like, go in your room, shut the door behind you, and, like, that is where the real fruit of your life is going to come into play. And so that I've seen that help me here. I've seen that help me in the way that I get to lead other places, the friend that I am. Like, I'm constantly like, okay, this is not just a Dream Center thing.
Absolutely
it has
not
completely. And I feel like my poor Rachel. She, the last few months as we've talked through a bunch of things in life, have kept being like, well, don't conform to the pattern of this world.
Right.
Like, be transformed. It just so many different ways, and using that to just to help better. I feel like I've become like a core value thumper. Like
Yeah.
I'm kind of every situation. I feel like I'm like core value.
Well, it's just a good reminder, and think of how harmful it would be to be a worship leader portraying one thing, and then other people seeing that your life isn't an example of that.
Unfortunately, I've been there before.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part. Is it's like helped me realize like, I missed the mark.
That's an ugly picture.
Oh yeah. It's a hard moment to be like, man, but I'm so thankful. And I feel like, especially this core value the last few months in what we're accomplishing or hoping to accomplish here, I feel like now more than ever, live and lead by example, like go above and beyond, like all the little things. I feel like I've seen it and I've been so proud of, and again, this is not like a yay us kind of thing, but just getting to see it from the inside of the way that we're looking at fundraising, the way that we're looking at doing OV, the way that we're looking at the coffee house, like so many things. It's not like we need to make this decision. Let's just, crack the whip and see what happens. It's like, let's like slow down and make sure that the way that we're doing this lines up with these core values and also just with what God is asking us to do, and make sure that we are actually, and I feel like we're being set apart in so many different ways that I'm like, I have never seen like us take the risk of, we could do this quick and easy thing that would pay off immediately. Right. But what if we slowed down and tried to look at it a completely different way that helps us longevity wise, moving forward. Right.
And know that God is the one directing it, not us.
And you just don't always see that, especially in nonprofit, because a lot of times it's like, we need money. Right. So we need to do this thing. Right. And we're just like, I think it actually might be better if we like just trust what God's asking us to do.
And constantly asking him for the direction and the guidance. Yes. And that's too, with this core value, I keep thinking about it because I love it so much, the be set apart. We, practically speaking, we came up with these things. Like we said, one was exceed people's expectations and do what is right even when no one is watching. Yep. And another one is be on time. And these things sound silly, kind of, but the more I have followed these and the longer I have followed these, they're so biblical. Yes. And we talk about the be on time thing, and everybody's going to be late at some point. Yep. Things happen. We're not talking about that at all. Yep. But if you're that person in life that is late to everything, and everybody makes a joke about it, and your family get-togethers, they give you one time start time, and everybody else another start time, and everybody jokes about it. The truth is, really nobody thinks it's funny.
Yeah, right. No.
Because it's rude.
Yeah, 100%.
And the way that we came to understand it here is, we have people that come to class and we tell them, our residents, we're trying to teach them responsibility. So we say, if you're more than 5 minutes late to class, you don't get credit. You still have to go in the class, but you don't get credit. Right. Well, we had some teachers that were coming in that were later than 5 minutes. So we're like, we're communicating to them, my time is more important than your time. Yeah, right. And I don't care about your time. So that's rude. So I know that in the Bible, it doesn't say anything about being on time, but it says a whole lot about love and not being rude. Yeah, right. So 1 Corinthians 13. So we said, you know what? If the teacher is more than 5 minutes late, you can get up and leave and you get credit. Yeah, right. But it just really taught, and it's just a good lesson that it may be a joke. It might have become like what you're known for in a funny way. But the bottom line is, if you're a Christ follower, nobody thinks it's funny. Yeah, right. And they wish you would stop. Right. So that's just kind of how we approach it. Yeah, it's true. And we let everybody know, look, we're going to value, not saying, we know this. We'll text and say, oh my gosh, I'm running late. That's not what we're talking about. It happened
when we were trying to film this today.
Yes.
For both of us.
Yes. And I said, that's not what we're talking about. But we're talking about the habitual person. It's become your identity. Yep. And it's a poor representation and testimony for what God calls us to do. Right. And I just encourage people to change it. Yep. And it's just a great accountability tool. It is. Hold each other accountable is one of our things as well. And as we're sitting here, I also am looking at it, I'm like, Jesus first obviously is the most important thing. But I feel like be set apart is just like the connector of all six core values of just like all these things. It's just my favorite one to think about in regards to like my own life. Yes. And how I want to try to aspire to. Yeah. And like if you're on our staff here and you're habitually late, you're going to get called in. And over time, if you don't correct it, you're going to be let go. Yeah, right. because it's part of our core value.
Right.
And it's not who, and if we're going to tell our residents it's so important to be on time, but we're not on time, it just doesn't add up.
Correct.
So it's just calling us to a higher standard of being set apart.
Yeah, it's true.
Because in the world, hey, they'll let you wait. There's business you can go and you wait. They don't care about your time, and we don't want to be that.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. And then the last subpoint under be set apart is be known for our gratitude, which, again, this is where working at different nonprofits in the past, being really involved in churches, right when I was out of high school, like I've seen, this is what I feel like is one of the main things that this organization itself is set apart in, is being known for our gratitude and the way that, and it's a very authentic, like, we understand without the people who are donating to the stores or making a financial gift or their time, we know that, like, the 19 of us that are in this building every day, if we did not have, I'm thinking of Ken, I'm thinking of Mike, I'm thinking of Mary Bess and Lynn, who teaches class. I can like list off a ton of people. If we did not have them, we would all be spent by Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do it.
We could not do it.
It's because we don't get any government support. We don't apply for it.
Right.
We rely completely on this community, completely.
Yeah.
Whether it's through our stores or our coffee house or our volunteers or our donors, completely. And I wish, if people could be a fly on the wall, I get an email notification if we get an online donation of any kind, $20, $25, and I am just, thank you, God, every time. And it's not like that's a daily thing.
Right.
But when we get an online donation, I'm just like, I'm looking at that person's name. I'm trying to figure out who that person is. And I'm just so excited and grateful that they took the time to go on the website and make a donation, because it matters so much to the operating cost of this organization.
Yes.
And even just shopping, people think it's no big deal. No, your shopping in our resale store is huge. Your donating to our resale store is huge. 100% of that money goes to this place, and it's a lot of work on our end, but it is so worth it, because that's how we operate.
100%.
And if you're going to operate without government funding, the community comes together. I am so proud that, and really it's a very humbling experience, because there are people who are studying our organization as a national model for how to handle community solutions, because we're doing it as a community. So thank you to our community, because y'all are the community's the ones doing it.
100%.
And they're looking at this saying, how are this many people experiencing life transformation in a place that gets no government funding and is completely supported by their community in Easley, South Carolina?
Yeah, right.
And I don't have an answer for that. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But we have a dang good community is all I can tell you.
It's true.
And there are people in this community that go unseen, that give so much of their time to doing things that are difficult, working at the resale store, unloading the truck. They don't want attention. There's a dentist that does incredible amounts of work for us. He does not want to be named. And I'm just always blown away how God uses people, and they're so generous with their time and money, and they're not doing it for attention. And it increases my faith that God is the provider through them. But it also inspires me to be like, man, it's incredible how people will step up and give. 100%. And they do.
Yeah.
And so it's just an honor to be able to work with people like that, because they're unique, and they're not tons of them, not tons and tons of them, but there are in our community. Yeah. I mean, it seems like we have a lot.
Right.
So
the other thing that is really cool also is, I have it in my email right now, but we get the opportunity to go, well, you and Sarah get to go speak at all these different things. And right now, one thing that like a bunch of us are working on is a list of all these donors who we went and spoke at this Kiwi thing a few weeks ago, or last week. And it's just like dozens and dozens of names, to where I'm like, I'm 15 thank you cards deep when I have a few minutes. And it's just cool to see, like, you may go do it, but the impact that it has. And I've written in every card, like, this is on behalf of the whole Dream Center team, because like, if you only knew what this meant to each one of us, that you would even consider doing this, like, it blows our mind that we have. I mean, it's 50, 60 people. Right.
And they may think no big deal, but it's a big deal to us.
I see that list and I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
it's It's a big deal to us.
Just
very
a
much so.
20, an hour thing, and you have all these people that are like, I never heard about you, but I will think what we believe in you, and I'm excited to help make this thing move forward.
This is kind of off the core value a little bit, but many years ago, now I don't even know, probably 16, 17 years ago, Jim and I personally started listening to God in a more personal way. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we felt led to do was to start giving of our time and our money sacrificially. We had never done that. Right. Never. Now, we had tithed, so that's not generosity, that's obedience.
Yeah, right.
We had given a little extra here and there and kind of made ourselves feel good, at Christmas or whatever. But right. But I didn't even know what sacrificial giving of my time and money really would look like. Mm-hmm. And then I began to understand it was kind of giving up something. So my time, instead of spent in front of the TV or doing something on my phone or whatever, perhaps I'm doing something for somebody else. I'm giving something up to go do something for somebody else. And then from a money perspective, maybe I don't go get a coffee every day. Maybe I do something for maybe I pay for the person behind me and I skip it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I just never done it. We never done it. And we just started giving of our time and our money sacrificially, not for the world to see, for us, just us. And it radically changed us.
Yeah, right.
And soon after, one thing led to another, and then we're looking in doing Dream Center stuff.
Right.
So it is truly remarkable what God will do and how he will use someone who just says, hey, it's all yours anyway. Right. So what would you have me do?
Right.
And be willing to trust him. And truly, when we did that, we were blessed more than ever, financially and otherwise. And that's not why we did it, but we never really lacked, even when we were giving things up.
Right.
It's like he would bless us again. And I'm like, so it really blows my mind. I want to shout from the rooftops, like, try it. Just start giving your time and money sacrificially. It doesn't have to be the Dream Center.
Yeah, right.
Something that is a close cause to your heart. And if it's the Dream Center, that's great too. But if it's not, that's okay. But just try it, and your life will be radically transformed.
It's true.
It truly, truly will.
And to make the switch from like, I have to do this, to where Scripture talks about like God wants a cheerful giver as well. Like he wants you to be obedient, but he wants you to be excited about and like truly like feel the joy of, I get to contribute to what will get people into heaven, and like, we'll bring the kingdom to earth, back to the Lord's Prayer, like let your will be done here as it is in heaven. So there's so many things that, because I agree, there's times where I'm sure at some, like, I'm going to be old one day, so I will have time to volunteer at a store or cut the grass or whatever it is. And the people that come to mind right away as far as being set apart inside of what we get to see is, and I thought this during the Dream Big meeting last week, is Mike and Lisa Runge.
Oh my goodness,
like, when I heard, like, when Lisa introduced herself and said Runge, my like head exploded with, Mike Runge is one of the most set apart people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, and she is too.
But it's just cool to see like how watching Lisa have these amazing ideas, because the way that her and her husband serve with such cheer and joy. I like texted Mike right away and I was like, hey, I just need you to know, like, I'm so thankful for everything that you do. And it's just, they're just a great, and we have so many people. I'm not saying that Mike and Lisa are the best, but they were just a great example of watching Lisa operate inside of what she wants to do here. Made my brain be like, her and Mike are amazing. And I need to text Mike and make sure that he knows that, like.
And for that reason, like, we have orientations every month. We have 2 a month.
Right.
Where people come in to learn about us and they decide if they want to be a volunteer. And for that reason you're talking about, when they say, where do you need help? We don't want to answer that question.
Right.
I'm like, we don't want to say, I need you to do this, this, and this, because I spent a lifetime serving in capacities just where I wanted to do, or I wanted to be seen doing something and not where God called me to.
Yes.
And I would be feeling tired and worn out and not looking forward to it. And it's because I was doing that for myself.
Right.
And so we say, look, we're just going to tell you what God's doing here, and you tell us where you feel led to plug in.
Yep.
And it is incredible. But ever since we've been here, he feels every single need that way.
Every need.
Because we want them to say, God, how would you use me at the Dream Center?
Yep.
And whatever he tells them, that's what we want them to do.
Yeah.
And miraculously, it fills every need. So the last thing I want to say is, like, hey, you need to do childcare, and then be like, oh goodness, I wish it was something else. Because I spent years doing things out of exhaustion and out of just really checking off a list and patting myself on the back.
Yeah.
And I just don't want it to be that. I want it to be like joy and peace and purpose.
Yes.
And the only way it's going to be that is you're asking God, where would you have me plug in?
Correct.
And use me in that.
Yeah.
And that's what Mike and Lisa Runge do. That's
true.
what Jerry Randall does. That's what so many, Mary Beth, so many people do.
Yeah.
And and if you talk to them, they will tell you it's transformed them because they're serving in God's will and purpose.
Right.
So.
Okay, another hard pivot. This is the last big thing that, as you were talking, I wanted to like really talk about is another thing that I love that we get to really put our focus in being set apart is the stores themselves. And I guess this is more of like the business side of things. But when you guys have the idea to start the stores and as they've evolved, we tell people all the time of like, we're not just like a bring all your junk, we'll sell it kind of place or whatever. Like our goal is to make it this experience for people of like, well, no wonder I'd want to shop here and support this because I'm going into the store that, yes, it's all used goods and donated, but the atmosphere, the way people are treated, the quality of what's being sold. Like, what was some of the process of starting the store, of how we've maintained because I feel like that it really is the thing that we're most set apart for is we're not just making this as a means to make money. This like means so much that we are fully set apart in what we're doing inside of these stores.
The resale stores are a ministry within a ministry. Yes. I mean, it is incredible the amount of ministry that happens in the resale stores, not only to the general public, but to our own staff.
Yes.
I mean, we know just in the last month, we have been able to work with 2 employees who, one, a grown woman.
It's been the longest month. You said a month, and I'm like, oh my gosh. A month.
A wonderful lady who works there who had never had a license. And we were able to help her get her license and help her and give her a car.
Yes.
And then let her earn it. And then another gentleman who works at a resale store was homeless, and we were able to help him, and he also now has a vehicle. Yep. Because we want them to be able to be successful as well, and they're our employees. Yep. But also, when customers come in there, we just want them to be seen. I mean, it doesn't matter who they are, that they come in and they feel like they're welcomed and they have a good experience, and they know that when they buy something, it matters to us because it's fueling this ministry. Yeah, and when they volunteer with us, we have some of the most unbelievable volunteers in the resale store. I think 2 of our Seneca store, my goodness, they've had some of the same volunteers for 5 and 6 years.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, as long as they've been opened.
Right.
And they're just incredible people. So but a lot of ministry happens there every single day. It is really amazing when you think about what we thought that it would just be a really good resale store. But it is the grounds. I'll give another example. Oftentimes, someone may have a death in their family, and they may have to pack up the belongings and bring them as a donation. That is hard.
So hard.
That is hard. So they get personal care. They get a personal card. They get treated with compassion and empathy that they've lost someone.
Right.
We're not going to just sling their stuff around. And so there's a lot. But again, I'm glad you brought it up. The way we've done it is back to the core values. Yep. So the resale stores, the managers are required to lead their team through the core values every single morning before we open. Yep. The coffee house is required to go through the core values every single day, because if you can't do your level best to follow the core values in that store as an employee or in that coffee house, hit the door.
Yeah, right.
Hit the door.
Yeah.
Because we are on an important mission to serve people in a way that honors Christ. And we don't want anybody in that's not going to be trying to do that.
Yeah, right.
So, but our employees love it. I mean, they love the core values, and they love doing that.
It's true.
And they understand it. But when they know that they're supposed to exceed expectations, and they know that they have to be set apart, and they know they don't need to be late, it's pretty clear.
Right.
And luckily, the people we hire, this is their heart anyway.
Right.
So it just reinforces what they already believe and live. So it's not that hard.
Right.
And it causes us to hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
To not slip and treat someone, and we take it seriously.
Yeah, we do.
So if you ever had a bad experience at anything we're doing, feel free to call and tell us.
Yeah, please let us know.
Because our teams would want to know.
Yeah.
Because we're not perfect, and there'll be times when we mess up or have a situation. We would want to know so that we can make it right.
100%. As you were talking, I'm sitting here thinking we could probably start a whole new podcast called Be Set Apart, and we could bring every person on our staff in, and we could sit here and talk about. I'm thinking like Melissa Vess is the most welcoming person I've ever met in my life. She is so set apart. Miss Joni is the most loving human I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I could walk down the line of the way that our team gets to take this core value seriously, and that also their life could tell the story of being set apart and not conforming to the pattern of this world. Like all of Romans 12:2. I could look at everybody in this building and be like, you are actually living this. Like, and
they were living that before they ever worked at the Dream Center. So that's why they want to work here.
Yes.
Because it aligns with who they are.
Yes.
And that makes it so much easier to get everything done, because we're called to do so much here. It's like really mind-blowing what happens here on a daily basis with a very small number of people.
It's true.
But when you've got people that are you're not micromanaging, you're on mission to exceed people's expectations on your job, then you're just all going at it.
Yep.
And getting it done. And God shows us incredible miracles as a result. So
yeah, it's also exciting to be sitting here thinking about like, okay, it's Thursday. We have a whole new group of ladies moving in on Monday. And as far as exceeding people's expectations, the amount of people we're taking into this program on this next swing, like anybody's expectations of what this program has been in the past, they are about to be.
Right.
The door's about to be blown open.
And, you know, I'll say that we contemplated, you know, if we take this many that we have room for, there's some things we don't have. You know, we don't have enough transportation. We don't have enough cribs, or not cribs, high chairs. We don't have, but our team prayed and said, you know what, if God sends them and they qualify for this and we have a house for them, we're taking them.
Right.
And I would be lying if I didn't admit that there's a little bit of fear in that for me.
Right. Because
now we have taken them, you know, and I was telling someone this morning, we're going to have 18 children living here for a year. Well, 15 out of 18 are 5 and under.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot of little kids, okay?
A lot of little kids.
That's a lot of kids to transport. And we were literally going to have to make like 4 or 5 trips just to get them to church. And I found out this past week that another ministry is giving us another bus. Wow. So we are just trusting God. We're doing what he says. And what he said was, take the ones I send you that are a good fit for this program and trust me for the provision.
Right.
And we're scrambling this week trying to, you know, get the provision in line for this many small children. And he is providing day by day for that. But that bus, I'm like, wow, right on time.
Right on time.
For us to be able to transport this many car seats with kids in them to church and everywhere else. So sometimes you don't have all the answers and you don't want to move forward because of fear. But if we just do what he says, the provision comes. Yeah, right. We don't have to be afraid. And so, we're getting ready to be in charge of a lot of families and leading and guiding. And that's exciting because they're getting ready to experience the Lord in a way that they never have before. And we don't beat them over the head with the Bible.
Yeah, right.
We're just going to love on them in a way that they're going to feel safe and strong, and they're going to know their identity, and then they're going to hopefully come to know him personally if they don't already.
God. Every time you've mentioned the OV numbers, my brain is like, oh boy.
Yeah. It's just a lot of little ones.
A lot of little ones.
A lot of little ones. And we do have some bigger ones too, but not as many.
Yeah.
So I think there's only 3 between the ages of 7 and 10.
God.
Everybody else is
5 and under.
Little.
Amazing. Well, usually I ask the last question here. I feel like today that does not need to happen. I feel like everything we've gotten to talk about, I know that I've said this a million times. I'm just so thankful for this core value, for all of them, and the way that just getting to have these conversations. Just it feels every time we get to talk, very affirming of like, okay, I think we're doing the right things, and I think
Absolutely.
that we're
and trust in Him. And I look at it, every single person has the opportunity to live a life that is set apart. And I think if we think of people that we know in our life, all of us can name those people that come to mind that live a life that is set apart. So be one of those people.
Yes.
Be one of those people. I tell everybody my favorite thing about a person is when they're authentic.
Right.
Even if they're, not that nice, as long as they're authentic. Yeah. But if you're a Christian, authenticity as a Christian and being who you say you are is such a kingdom building thing.
It is.
And everybody has a chance to do that and offer that while our time here is short.
Right.
And let's make the most of it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, thinking through that lens and like thinking about that's as far as authenticity goes, like that's probably been my biggest like life lesson in the last 4 years of being here is thinking one way or trying to put on face, and then, things in life happen, and I had a moment of like, I can either let this thing put more of a mask on, or I can just shift my mindset, the way that I live my life and the way that I pursue things. And I just am sitting here like, I'm so thankful that I let this core value like read my mail and then also be like, I want to actually live what this says and do these things. And so, I mean, it actually has like transformed my life, which is crazy.
And we make mistakes,
Yeah,
You're
right.
right. But when you own it, your mistake, don't do it again, and let's go.
Yep. So.
But it's just hard. The enemy would have us try to not be known.
Right.
And Christ says, you are known.
Yep.
And, so that's been something I've learned.
Yeah.
So it's just an honor and a joy to be able to be a part of something God's doing, because He could do this without us.
Oh, yeah.
And that He would allow us to come here and be a part of this is the greatest honor.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
I love talking about being set apart and wanting that for my own life. And I mess up all the time. And this brings me back to what my focus needs to be on, and helps me recenter on that.
It's true. That's awesome. Okay, well, we have 2 left. Sarah Schupert's on the next one, which finally, which she's going to do awesome. I'm so excited.
She's going to be great.
It's going to be so fun.
She's going to be great.
I just know that it's going to be the most fun. Like, I feel like we're going to laugh a ton, and it's just going to be, I'm so
She's
excited.
A wise young lady.
Is so wise.
She just doesn't like speaking, publicly, but she's
Her
good
and Chris
at it.
are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, I don't like speaking publicly, but she's good at it, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
The more she does, I told her, I said, too bad. I don't like it either, but look what God made. I have to end up doing this. So she has to do it too.
She does. So next week's episode is our last of our 6 core values. And then we have one more episode after that about 1 Corinthians 13, which that's the one that me personally, I'm the most excited to talk about for this season. So 2 left, and we're excited to keep going. So thank you guys for listening this week, and we'll see you on the next episode.